Welcome to this week's episode of the Punk Popcast. This week we have Unknown Songs to You. Welcome to this week's episode of the Punk Popcast. I am Brad, and I am here with Jason. How are you today, Jason?
Hey, I'm doing all right.
Good to hear. Jason's wearing a sweatshirt for those of you listening and not watching. I'm a little bit jealous because I'm in Phoenix. It's been about 115 the last 2 days. So I'm looking forward to sweatshirt weather here in like 6 months. But
It is a cool and crisp 57 here in Pennsylvania. So
no way.
yeah.
Man, it is literally 60 degrees warmer here right now still.
Yeah,
So.
I would assume.
It's so hot. It's unreal. Absolutely unreal. But anyway, today we're going to get into, we were actually talking about obscure songs a couple weeks ago, just songs that people might not know about. So we made a list. We thought we would each, we'd do things in threes around here. We thought we'd each throw out 3 songs that we thought people didn't really know about. And you know what? A couple of these I feel like are a little bit more well-known than I thought. Like I was on Spotify checking some of these out because it's a good place to check these out. And some of them only had like 400 monthly listeners. Another one had 2,000. That's compared to some more contemporary and current bands that have like 30,000, 40,000 monthly listeners, something like that.
Yeah.
So I guess relatively speaking, they are still pretty unknown. So here we go. We're going to share some what we think are maybe some new bands for you. And when we get to the end, if you have any that you want to share with us, tweet at us on the Twitter machine it's at Punk Popcast, right?
It is at Punk Popcast.
At Punk Popcast. All right. So here we go. Jason, lead us off with your number 1.
Okay, I'm gonna go with so backstory. How I discovered the song was in 2003. I got into Story of the Year, but didn't have the album yet. I won the main song, Until the Day I Die, and want to discover some other songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I found this song called Mixed Emotions, and someone had it as the artist as Story of the Year. I'm like, well, this doesn't sound like them. It was Mixed Emotions by Allie with an I. And I have loved this song ever since I first heard it back in 2003. I mean, this is probably the most pure punk pop song out of my 3 obscure songs. The lyrics are simple, but I mean, God, how many, I was 18, 19 at the time. How many 18, 19-year-old guys could identify with a song that says, good guys all the time have to try harder. Bad guys never try, but seem to go further.
Seriously, though. I mean, that's like that Green Day song, Nice Guys Finish Last. And, it's a saying that we hear all the time, but it's a pretty common theme for some reason. I still haven't been able to figure it out, but whatever. But,
it's simple, and it's a fun song.
It is. And, I went in and listened to this, and my very first thought was that they sound a lot like Saves the Day, particularly Through Being Cool, which is one of my favorite albums. So I think I've added a new band to my rotation, because if this is what they sound like, then I am like in like Flynn to listen to this band, because I thought it was great. It was really good. It was really entertaining. They had this song in particular. They had a great garage band sound to me, kind of that really rough around the edges kind of thing going on for them, and some great guitar riffs. Like that's the number one thing I listen to is guitar riffs, and it was fun. It was a good listen.
There's also a music video on YouTube for this song.
Oh, there is.
And it's just them playing live, but like half the clips are them dressed up like Poison playing live, and then there's like girls really badly diving into the crowd. Like it's hilarious. It's really good. And they're back together.
Oh, they are. Nice.
Yeah, they've reunited. So I thought that was pretty cool.
So are they going to do like a new album, or are they just doing like a reunion tour?
I think they're just doing a couple shows in South Carolina.
Okay. Well, we both have connections in South Carolina, so maybe we'll meet up.
There we go.
Cool. Very good. Very good. That was a great song. I actually really like that one, like I said, a lot. So I'm going to start with my first song is going to be by this band that this is one of those ones I just my friend found this band on one of our pirate music sites. I don't remember which one he was using, but so he found them and put together this mixed CD and he handed it to me. He said, "You're going to love it. I promise you." I said, "Okay." So I took it and I listened to it. And this song was the very first one on this little mix CD. It's called Broadcast by Unsung Zeros. It's actually from the album Moments from Morning. Um, and one thing that's interesting about this album, the album art Moments from Morning, is that it's so cheap, like so low budget. It's like somebody went and took a picture of an alarm clock and then just went, let's go blue on top, yellow on bottom, or what, however they do it. It's like it's so cheap and low budget, and the sound of the entire album, especially this song, is pretty low budget. But man, it rocks so hard. And for me, one of the things I don't know why this was always the case, but this song to me always reminds me of like puts in my mind driving home on a particular road in the Pacific Northwest in the Portland area, driving home on this one particular road in the rain every single time. And it might be because this was the one that I put on when I was driving home from whatever location I was at. And it's always raining in the Northwest. So that probably has a lot to do with it. But at the same time, like that's what this song, like it's like the sound of the rain on the tires, you know?
Yeah.
Like it goes like perfectly in concert with the drums, at least in the intro. But then throughout the rest of the song, it's like it's perfect, and it's just an all around great song. I flat out just love it.
I can see how this was. You would think this is a good driving song, and there are certain songs that are really good driving songs. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the lyrics in this one. Obviously,
Uh
that's
huh.
my thing. um, I really like the line of "It seems no matter where she goes, she hears the song on the radio." Like
Uh huh.
that's a really great pop punk line.
Yes, it is, and that's another one of the things is that like I know this song is like about a girl, like her experience as far as like whatever she's going through, but at the same time, like it's relatable. Like if you were to flip to like every time it says she to he, it's like yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
100%, I get it. Like, because the little things remind her of the good times they have had. Whenever she recalls those things, it's hard to think that he's so bad. It's like we've all had that relationship.
yeah. It's a very
100%.
relatable song.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that might have been the first thing that really turned me onto it was that it is relatable, and it's and unsung zeros in general. His voice is really unique, but still really easy to sing along with. It might be
Yeah,
because
his voice caught me off guard at first. It was a
yeah,
little oh god, what's his name? Oh my
Coheed
god, I'm
and
blank.
Cambria.
Yes. What is his name?
Yeah, I
Claudio.
can't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very much along those lines. But him, it's like a little bit less on key. It feels like, but it
It's
works.
rougher.
Yeah, it's rougher, but it works. It works really well. So it's easy to sing along with, and especially this song, like driving home on this road. Like I'll be honest with you, there were roads by my house growing up that I hated driving at night because I was certain that a murderer was going to pop out of the woods, like jump in front of me, and I was either going to have to swerve and fly into the creek or like hit him, and then like, and so like I would sing this song in particular, like as a lot at the top of my lungs while I'm driving, just to feel like I'm, it's like the little security blanket. but, but yeah, no, this is one of those songs for me that like Unsung Zeros in general is a great band. If you haven't heard of them, go check them out. If you have heard of them, then you are aware of their minute greatness or such that it is. All right, go ahead, Jason. What do you have next?
Uh so this is a band I had their poster on my wall. I got it from Trustkill Records. I liked the album that much. I got a poster of the album artwork. Now this is a deep cut from a deep cut. I'm going with Silver Linings from Roses Are Red. Um,
Excellent.
so this is even a single off that album. The singles off that album were White and Gold and 300 motion pictures. I just always had a connection to this song. There's this album, this song in particular, there's like a darkness to it that I really like. And the way the music sounds, I love the lyrics. I think that chorus of, if we knew now what we knew then, we'd pass regret into the night again. There's a maturity to that line that you don't have in this genre all the time.
Yeah.
And I like the music in it. The music in it's really powerful. I mean, it's a good sing-song chorus, but then you have the pianos, you have the drums. Everything's very big and full, and just a really great track overall. And I think that's I wanted people to really hear this song and discover a band that maybe they never heard of with these guys. They're really good.
Yeah, it's a really good one. And one of in my notes I put, I love a long intro. The intro is almost a minute long. It was really cool. I love listening to long intros like that. They're fun to me. And part of that is I just love listening to the guitars and the drums and everything like that. It's more relaxing to me, I guess. I don't know, no matter how hard it is or not. But the other thing I like about this is that this song is a long burn with a slow build, and it's very good. It's very cool the way they did it. That it slowly built the entire thing to the very end, and then you get like maybe 45 seconds to a minute to the very end of the song, and then it finally like catches up to what you think it's going to be, and that last, like I said, 45 seconds to a minute is really, really big. And I thought it was cool the way they did it, because they could have easily just built up to a big chorus and then taken it back down, big chorus, taken it back down. But they slowly did it throughout the entire song. It was really well put together.
It's a powerful song, musically and lyrically.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I think that was an excellent choice. Very, very good. All right, let's take a quick... I did. Let's take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll go with our last three songs.
9+ Us presents the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts Blackjack Brad and Kansas City Little Big Briggy Blue Eyes. Weekly episodes for the entire baseball family, where we talk all baseball all the time. Available on all your favorite podcast apps and on YouTube. Come join our baseball family where we do baseball together.
I'm Jason.
And I'm David. And we're the hosts of the Non-North Sports Podcast. We're the home of sports talk for everyone. Join us bi-weekly as we talk about the happenings in sports.
You can find the Non-North Sports Podcast on Anchor.fm, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever else you find your podcasts.
Welcome back to the Obscure Song episode of the Punk Popcast. So we have three songs left. I have two. Jason has one. So I'm actually going to go ahead and lead into a song here that I absolutely just freaking love, by a band that I used to love until recently. Like, they're a little bit ruined for me. So this band is called Audio Karate, and I found out just the other day that they released an album 2 years ago. And so I was like, oh, sweet, new music. But then I went and listened to it, and it didn't last more than like 30 seconds for the whole thing. So don't listen to Audio Karate's new stuff. Listen to their old stuff, particularly their first release, Space Camp. Rosemead is the first song on that album. And there's a trend here, because I believe Broadcast is the first song on Moments for Morning. Maybe not. I don't know. Either way, it's the first song on that mix CD that I had. Good enough. But Rosemead is a great song. It's a perfect depiction of who Audio Karate is. Another unique vocalist. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's really rough, right?
I would say that, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to describe, but like, and the guitars are very, like, probably using practice amps. Nothing bigger than that, I would think, because they're very crunchy. but no, Rosemead is an awesome song. This is the first song I was ever introduced to Audio Karate with, and this was another album that me and just like two of my friends, we would just drive around all the time listening to Audio Karate, and it was always like going to put it in. It was one of those things we couldn't not do, was Audio Karate, ha! That's always how we would do it. Like, what do you want to listen to? Audio Karate Ha! That's always how it was every single time. So it's so stupid, but it's what we did. And, that's one of those things. Like, I literally in my entire life have never met anybody else besides my small group of friends who has ever heard of Audio Karate.
I mean, I never heard of them until this.
Yeah, well, and it's funny because they're one of those small bands from Southern California, and a lot of their music is about Central and Southern California, which, kind of makes them a little bit niche because there might be people who don't necessarily want to listen to that. But like Rosemead in particular, I think is referencing an area near where they lived. But it's all catchy. Like I honestly like can't off the top of my head bring you any lyrics from Rosemead because I could sing you every word if it's on, but it's one of those things where like if you wanted me to repeat it back to you like now, I couldn't do it. There's something special about the memory of listening to Audio Karate and Rosemead in particular that has always drawn me in. The nostalgia of it, but also just like the music to me was really unique. All of it was just a really unique sound.
I really enjoyed this song. The first time I listened to it was the other day when you said, "Hey, here's my 3 songs," and just listening to it 2020 or 2021, I should say, it took me back to a time and place when I was a younger guy. And lo and behold, the year actually it came out is the summer it took me to, and it reminded me of a lot of things like of being a teenager. It was super relatable. I thoroughly enjoyed this song when I was listening to it. It was really good.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is that it's all just really relatable. Like I actually pulled the lyrics, so I have it. But he says, "I remember when we first met. It was freshman summer. I can't forget." Like that's the opening. Those are the opening lines to this song. And it's like, yeah, like we all had somebody we met freshman summer, and you'll never forget, right? But they have another song called Nintendo '89 that talks about like it. What is it? It's like it's something happened to the girl, and he says it's game over, and it's like, oh my gosh, yeah. I think the opening line is game over. You've got a new friend. I'm like, oh shoot, like we've all been there. Like I feel like that's one of the things about this band is that everything about it is super relatable. We've talked before about how the whole genre of pop punk is validating to the emotions of a teenager, but very few were as relatable as everything that they were talking about here because they're clearly teenagers when they were writing this stuff. Yeah. And they sound like it too when they sing it, but anyway, no, go check out Rosemead by Audio Karate. This is a great one to be introduced to this band too. A great band that I have loved for, solid 20 years. I'm aging myself, but anyways. All right, go ahead, Jason.
Okay, so my last one, this one's really near and dear to my heart. So I discovered this band 20 summers ago on a reality show on VH1 called Bands on the Run. And I'm not talking about Flicker Stick, and I love Flicker Stick to death. but these guys were not the winners. They were the runners-up. I'm talking about Too Far, Too Hard by Soulcracker. So sadly for Soulcracker, they were the heels of the reality show.
That's funny.
So sadly, they didn't get as much love as Flicker Stick did, who were the underdogs in the reality show. Both really great bands. Only one of them had a major label run, and it wasn't Soulcracker. But I really love Too Far, Too Hard. I really think these guys are kind of like forefathers of the pop punk genre, because by the time they were on this reality show, they've been a band since '93.
Oh wow, okay.
So they were like almost proto pop punk. The song was written by Sutton, who's the lead singer, and it was about the dissolution of his first marriage. So he was 24 writing about the dissolution of his first marriage. Like, that's crazy to think about.
That's some pretty mature lyrics, like for anybody to be writing at 24, because I know of bands that I listened to forever that didn't have that mature of lyrics at that age. But also for you to be, what you said, 20 summers ago?
Yeah, so I was 16.
yeah, 16 years old and be like, yeah, I get it. You
It's a
know?
really, it is a, what drew me in was the music. In all honesty,
Yeah.
this song musically, that's what drew me in. And then, over the years, that's just a song I'm singing and singing and singing. And I'm like, oh, I really should like actually look into these lyrics. I'm like, oh, oh, crap. Sorry. Got caught up in the moment here. I love the bridge of I could take you flowers and you take me back. I could write a letter just to get you back. Integrity should be so easy. So far, it's too hard. Like that's really powerful, almost like admitting like I know I could do these things, but it's just not in me.
Yeah.
It almost like flips the script on what pop punk is, because a lot of pop punk, it's written from this perspective of I'm the person who got hurt. This song is written from the perspective of the person who did the hurt.
Yeah. That's crazy. It really is backwards as far as that goes. But so for me, like I listened to the first time I heard this song was actually yesterday. I was listening to it on my way to pick up my son from school. And my first impressions, and I mean this, Jason, like when I say this is like the utmost compliment when I say this. This is the easiest song in the world to sing along with.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know the words, like the melody is so, and I don't want to say it's simple and easy, but it's kind of predictable enough that you know where it's going to go. But on the other hand, the melody itself is almost like the harmony of what you would expect the melody to be.
Right.
So like I caught myself when I was singing, like when I was kind of like humming along with the chorus, I caught myself going up when they were going down, going higher when they were going lower, or even lower when they're going a little bit higher. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like contrasted of what you would totally expect it to be. It's kind of like, did you ever see Saving Mr. Banks?
I have not, no.
So they go through the process of making Mary Poppins the movie. That's what the movie's about. And when they're writing the song, when they're just putting together the entire song for a spoonful of sugar.
Okay.
One of the things they made a point of was initially it was going to go make some medicine go down, like they're going to go down with it. But they were like, well, no, that's not Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins, she goes up the handrail on the stairs. She comes down on an umbrella. Everything she does is backwards. So that's why they went with the medicine go down, the melody goes up on that part. Yeah. Because I guess musical theory and everything like that, it would be like when you say down, it goes down. But anyways, so it's like they kind of took that approach to it. It's like the predictability of it is it's going to go this way, so we're going to go the other direction. But at the same time, me, who I'm not tone deaf, but I can't sing at all. Like I felt like where I was going with it, like still worked because it was kind of like one of those like perfect reciprocal things, right? And so like this is like it's a super duper catchy song. It's really easy to go along with. Like knowing what it's about, it's kind of like, but you don't feel bad like bopping your head to it and like singing along with it.
They have so many catchy songs, and it's a shame that coming out of this reality show on VH1 that never happened again, that they didn't get signed by someone, because they have what are some of their other, like Staring at the Sun is super catchy. Waiting, which was my original song I was going to do, that's super catchy. One Wave is super catchy. Greatest Generation is super catchy. They had really great songs. It just never worked out for them. It's a shame because they had good stuff.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I really do. Like it was good. It was a fun song, and it's funny because like we talked during the break. I was like, shoot, I've got to listen to it one more time because I don't have any notes. And I was like, shoot, is it like not memorable? And then as soon as it started, I was like, oh yeah, like this song is absolutely memorable, like 100%. If you're gonna,
I've been singing it all week.
If you're gonna introduce somebody to Soul Cracker, this is the way to go, in my opinion. It's that good.
It is. It's excellent. I'm glad you enjoyed it, as always.
Truly did. All right, I've got one more here. This is a band that I was introduced to. What was it? I mean, it was like 2007. My friend found them actually on MySpace. It was one of those things. You know how bands would like add you on MySpace, and then you would friend them back, then they delete you.
No, I don't know about that.
Oh yeah, that was a thing. I mean, it's like how people like follow you on Instagram and Twitter. You know, like they'll follow you to get your attention, then as soon as you follow back, they'll unfollow you to help with their ratio or whatever. So bands would follow people on MySpace all the time, like like to be friends or whatever, or send like a friend request. And so this was a band that did that to him, and he's like, actually, like they're really, really good. They're from somewhere in Canada. I can't remember off the top of my head.
That makes sense.
So it would make sense why they didn't necessarily make the mainstream in the US. But everybody I've ever played their music for, they're like, wow, this is great. I'm like, yeah, I know. I listen to it all the time. And this band is called Social Code, and the song is Bomb Hands. So Bomb Hands is like, it's my favorite Social Code song. Among 3 really strong albums, this is the best to me. This is a great song. In fact, my best friend from growing up, his Xbox Live handle, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. His Xbox Live handle has been Bomb Hands for 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like, that's how much we've loved this song since then. But what it's about, it's kind of funny. So it's about this guy who just like, can't do anything right, and it's like in the second verse, in the mirror I see reflections of your laughing. I'd get away, but I'm handcuffed to his heartbeat. And what the song is actually about is just like somebody having a bad day. Like you drop your phone and it breaks. You're washing dishes and you drop something down the garbage disposal just as it gets flicked on. You know, like just like you can't get a handle on anything, and just like everything is just out of your control. And I was watching an explanation where they're talking about this. Like, we've all had those days. He's like, it's so stupid, but we call it bomb hands. You know, like people refer to it as butterfingers. It's like everything you touch. Like there's even a line: everything he touches always falls to pieces. It's like everything you touch, it goes wrong. So, yeah,
that makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah,
I was trying to figure out what the song was about. I enjoyed the song. It's like with Too Far Too Hard, song easy to sing along to. Really catchy. I enjoy this a lot. I like the music, but I think the chorus is really what keeps you in to the song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's funny because they're really simple. It's the chorus is like your bomb hands 3 times, get back, like. But the guitars are perfect. The bass line is outstanding. Like I'm a huge sucker for a good bass line, and Social Code, that's one of the things that draws me into them.
I think I even said to you, great bass lines and bomb hands in our text.
Yeah. And it a bass, it doesn't have to be a bass solo, but just a good bass line that I'm like, oh, I hear it and I like it. I like it a lot.
That's probably why you like NFG so much.
I think it is. I think it's one of the reasons. But no, Social Code's been one of my favorite bands, like I said, it's been 14 years now. They don't have a song that I don't like. They actually have one song that I didn't know was a cover until I was on my honeymoon. They cover Whisper to a Scream.
That's a great song.
So we were in a diner in southern or central Oregon because we drove up the coast for a honeymoon. And we're sitting there. I was like, oh my goodness. I had no idea because I only knew the Social Code version, and it's freaking good. Go listen to it when we're done, Jason, because you'll love it. You'll like it a lot. So
I'm sure I will. I'm a sucker for covers, and I'm especially sucker for covers of 80 songs. So
yeah, exactly right. All right, so we've gone through all 6 of these songs. Jason, give it to me straight. Which of these 3 songs that I chose was your favorite?
I loved Rosemead. I actually added it to my pop punk /emo playlist on Spotify.
You did?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah.
It's a good one. I'm telling you, man,
It's really good.
Go listen to Space Camp by Audio Karate. Like it's a strong album front to back. It's really, really good. It's great.
So that said, which one was your favorite out of my list?
Mixed Emotions by Ally with an I. I listened to that song first time I listened to like 4 times through. Like I said, I think it was the saves the day vibes that I was getting from them, and I almost went straight to Through Being Cool afterwards because like, God, I need to listen to that now, because it sounds so much like it, and I thought it was great. Three very strong choices all around, but that one was my absolute favorite.
I thought these were 6 really great songs in general.
Yeah.
And hopefully the people listening, you guys find one that you enjoy.
Yes, let us know which one is your favorite. We have the links to all 6 of them in the description. You can listen to those on Spotify. We do that with every single episode, so you can listen to what we're talking about. But reach out to us on Twitter, like we said, at Punk Popcast. Jason is the one who is active on there and interacting with people, generally speaking. But you can also, if you want to, you can reach me on Twitter at Jojo Cornrow, JoJoCornrow. There's a story there. We'll get to it later. And then, Jason, what's your Twitter? You have a personal Twitter, right?
I do now. Yeah, it's at XJasonBagX. Because I used to be straight edge. So
there you go. Yeah,
I haven't given up the X's in front and behind my my handle. So
in 20 years.
Yeah,
I've had JoJo Cornrow. Everything was JoJo Cornrow since I was like 16, so almost 20 years for me of JoJo Cornrow. But like I said, that's a story we'll get to another day. But thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Punk Popcast. We'll catch you next week.